Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today I've got some Medal of Honor Warfighter gameplay. The game came out last night, and Timmy and I stayed up late playing it, and we actually had quite a bit of fun. The fireteam aspect is pretty interesting. Now, in terms of innovation, I will say the only thing that this game really kind of excels at, or even does, that is innovative is the fireteam gameplay, where you have one player that's in your fireteam and you can get health and ammo from them. Whenever they get killed, you see sort of a little red outline around the guy that killed them, so you have a really good opportunity to take down the guy that killed them. If you do avenge your teammate's death, then they can respawn on you very quickly, otherwise they have to wait for a longer timer to spawn back on you. So yeah, you can spawn on your fire teammate, you sort of stick together, and you get a lot of abilities. Also, when you're close by, I believe you also get bonus points for any of your fire teammates' kills. So it really does sort of reward you for sticking around as one player. So last night I had a lot of fun. Then I tried a bit more this morning, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to play the game on my own, see how it plays out. And it varied a lot more because sometimes I get paired up with a fire teammate that was just completely oblivious to the fire team options or mechanics or something. So I'd be really hurt from a gunfight and I'd be running after him trying to get health. He'd run off into some firefight and I'd get mowed down trying to chase this guy, getting health or ammo from him. It's kind of like trying to get ammo in Battlefield 3 or something like that. If your teammates are just oblivious to you and not really aware of what's going on, it can really make your experience a bit more difficult. On top of which, your only real way to get ammo is through your fireteam buddy. So if your fireteam buddy just keeps running away from you, going off and doing his own thing on the other side of the map, then you can run out of ammo pretty easily and not have him as a backup. Now, the action is very fast, so I didn't really run out of ammo too many times on this map. And there's some classes also that actually don't run out of ammo. The heavy machine gun guy doesn't have an ammo restriction. Now, there's actually 6 different classes that you can play as, and none of the classes are necessarily key to achieving certain goals. They all play differently. Some of them might be better for some maps, some of them better for others, or situations. Again, the heavy gunner, which has a machine gun, his ability is to put down a bipod and become very accurate, much like in Battlefield. He's very useful in defensive situations. He can also throw 3 cluster grenades at a time. Right now I'm playing the Assaulter, and the Assaulter has probably one of the best all-around weapons for running and gunning. It's a very powerful assault rifle. You can unlock new assault rifles and new attachments and modifications for your guns the more you use them. The gun customization menu is awesome. Not only is the gun art just done really well, but the kinds of setups with your weapons seem like they'd be really realistic setups. You can't throw all these ridiculous modifications onto a weapon that makes it look like some sort of silly thing that you sort of fashioned in your garage. You get like different barrel setups. Some will have like a laser pointer and a heavy barrel and a flash and a tack light attached to it, like all at once, and that comes as one unit. And they benefit your gun like by improving the range or this and that. You can't go to town in terms of like ultra customization, which with each weapon you can only push it so far in each direction. So you can't take a machine gun and all of a sudden make it as accurate as a sniper rifle. You can only push it in certain areas so far. You can put suppressors on things and that reduces its effective range and stuff, but makes you more stealth. You can customize the stock here. Some of it's just aesthetic as well, where you have a bunch of different stocks to choose from that all give you the same stats. And as you can see here, each gun has a ton of different camos to pick from, and these camos look awesome. They're like my favorite thing in the game, is just picking camos for the gun. It's rendered beautifully. The camos are just done so artistically. They look cool. There's a huge variety for any sort of situation. Like basically anything you can think of, you can put that kind of camo on your gun, and it looks badass. So there's 6 classes in the game, and right now I'm playing Spec Ops. And each class has a special ability. This right here is heat vision. It lasts for a fraction of a second, and it allows the Spec Ops to see heat signatures through walls. So it's kind of like, it is sort of like a half-second wall hack that's very blurry, so it's not like a perfect vision of where people are, but you can see right there I spotted some purple guys, and now I'm sort of anticipating them coming around this corner. This is a huge advantage to have on the battlefield, and especially in sort of team deathmatch maps where they're a little bit more chaotic. People can be coming from any direction. Having this heat vision is so useful. You can just basically find out where guys are all over the place. Now, at first I was like, oh, well, this is just the best class in the game. It just has to be the best class in the game because you can see where everybody is. And there were definitely some times before I understood what the Spec Ops did that I was running around and people would quick peek me around corners, and I would just be like, that's bullshit. How did that guy know I was right there? There's no way he could have known I was there. I wasn't firing. Like, he was shooting before he even came around the corner. And then I was playing Spec Ops and I'm like, oh, he was using his heat vision. He knew exactly where I was. And the way they balance out this class in the game is that your carbine that you have for the Spec Ops, although it looks like you got a pretty powerful assault rifle here, it's actually pretty weak when it comes to any sort of longer range engagements. So you're only really effective in medium to close quarters, and even at medium, it's kind of amazing how little damage you do. Now, if you can get the drop on somebody in close quarters, you can take him down, but machine guns and assault rifles and a few other weapons will drop you really fast, and so that's your disadvantage with the Spec Ops. So if you're playing on Team Deathmatch, I'd say that's a really good time to use Spec Ops because you can, there's a lot of different avenues and you can choose your avenue based on where you see the enemies. But if you're playing in some of more of these assaulter maps where there's just one place where the guys are defending and one place where you're attacking, basically, I think the game mode is called Fire Combat Mission. Yeah, we're kind of making fun of the name because it's like Combat Mission. That's kind of a lame name for a game mode that's identical to Russian Battlefield. But anyway, the Spec Ops becomes a little bit less useful. As you can see, I just spotted a whole bunch of guys. They're all in the house. Everybody knows they're in the house, so it might be just more useful to play a class like the Assaulter or something that can do a bit more damage in just any general firefight. Now, I'll get into the classes and game modes a bit more in future videos. There isn't really a lot of crazy new stuff in terms of how game mechanics play out or anything that's absolutely insane, but there are some things that I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have the same gripes with. One of them is the user interface. That thing is very hard to figure out and use. It took Matimio and I like 30 minutes to try and get in the same fire team together. We just could not figure out how to get in the same fire team. We kept joining the same server, being on opposite teams, trying to join the other team, join fire teams. It was really complicated, and I'm still not even 100% sure of how the process works. The other thing is that you're using the Frostbite engine. I was hoping for a little bit more destructibility. They demoed destructibility a bit in single player with some of the concrete walls getting chipped off in here. I haven't seen any destructibility. The world feels sort of baked in. And there's situations where I was firing at an enemy that was literally behind a straw fence. I shit you not, this fence was made out of straw, and my bullets were not going through the fence. The bullets just don't seem to go through anything in this game, so that was kind of disappointing, and it took some of the realism out of the firefights. Now, if you're used to shooters like Battlefield or PlanetSide or something like that, those worlds are sort of designed where they put objects in the world, but then you can sort of jump around them, go over them, make your own paths. In this game, the paths are almost like you can see them as invisible boxes. There's little fences and walls in front of you, but if the game designers don't want you to go over that, you're not going to. It's sort of like having an invisible barrier keeping you from running off a cliff or something like that. The game just feels very locked into this sort of arena-like level. The level looks like it's some sort of old village, but you can't walk up on this little car here, or you can't go up on the scaffolding over there. There's just a lot of invisible walls keeping you from going up and getting into little nooks and crannies and stuff that you would probably expect from a lot of shooters nowadays. Now, in terms of the gunplay, it's kind of weird. I'll be honest, I'm not in love with how the gunplay currently works out because it seems like they tried to really nerf the effectiveness of some of the assault rifles to make perhaps sniper rifles very effective at long ranges. Machine guns do a lot of damage at longer ranges. It's hard to keep assault rifles on target at anything past medium range. So it's kind of interesting. It does feel like some of the weapons are perhaps a bit less effective, especially if you're thinking about how these would perform in real life. It really does force you to get in much closer to people, which I guess is cool if you're going for those up close and personal arena shooter style. But again, this is just my first look at the game, and all I can say is that the gunplay is different. It's not exactly like any other game that I've played before, and I've played Battlefield and I've played Call of Duty. This is going for its own thing. So in summary, and mind, I've only played this game for about 5 to 6 hours now. I would say that the gunplay is interesting, the class balance is very interesting, the graphics aren't bad, they're not quite on par with Battlefield 3, but the guns look amazing, the gun customization is great, the level design is not necessarily bad, but just the way that it feels very fake, where you can't shoot through anything, you can't really destroy anything, and on top of that, sometimes there's like just small rocks that you feel like you should be able to jump over, but they've decided that you can't, so all of a sudden you end up getting stuck on a lot of things that you weren't expecting to get stuck on, and basically you just have to really know the map really well, otherwise you're going to get stuck on stuff and you're going to get outflanked by people, so you got to just learn where out of bounds are. If you've got a friend that's interested in this game though, I can guarantee you will have a lot of fun if you're playing together in a fire team. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and there'll be definitely some more Medal of Honor videos on the way. I'll see you guys next time. This is LevelCap signing off.